Let me ask you something powerful right now. Have you ever had a moment in life where the pain was so deep, so unbearable, that you thought you'd never make it through? Maybe it was a betrayal, a failure, a heartbreak, or losing everything you thought defined you. Now, what if I told you that pain, that very moment that nearly broke you, was actually the greatest gift you've ever been given? Because here's the truth. I wouldn't be here without that pain, and neither would you. That pain forged you, that pain shaped your spirit, cracked your comfort zone wide open, and demanded that a new version of you be born. We don't grow when everything is easy. We grow when we're forced to stretch, to fight, to dig deep into the core of who we are and what we're made of. That's where power is created. That's where greatness lives. So today, I want you to stop running from pain and start using it. Pain is not your enemy, it's your mentor in disguise. When life hits hard, and it will, you have two choices: collapse or lean in and learn. You see, pain shows up for a reason. It's not random. It's a signal, a wake-up call from the universe, from your inner truth telling you something must change. Most people run from pain. They numb it, distract from it, bury it. But what if instead you looked it straight in the eyes and said, "Teach me"? That's where transformation begins. Pain reveals what's not working. It exposes the lies you've believed, the habits that no longer serve you, the relationships you've outgrown, and the limitations you've accepted for too long. It strips away the surface and leaves you raw, but in that rawness, there's honesty. And honesty leads to growth. When I went through the darkest times of my life, when I had nothing, not even hope, I realized that pain was refining me. It was chiseling away the weak parts, sharpening my edge, forcing me to develop emotional strength, mental clarity, and relentless drive. I wouldn't be the man I am today if it weren't for those moments. That pain became my fuel. Here's the key. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Suffering happens when you resist the lesson. The moment you embrace it, the pain begins to transform. It becomes your power. You stop being the victim and start becoming the creator of a new story. So ask yourself, what is your pain trying to teach you? What's the gift buried inside that wound? Because if you can find that gift, your life will never be the same. There's a powerful truth I need you to feel in your bones. Your breakdowns are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of your transformation. When everything feels like it's falling apart, when your world is spinning out of control, and when nothing makes sense, that is not chaos. That is construction. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. Think about it. When do most people finally change? When they've had enough. When they've hit that emotional threshold, that moment when they say, "I can't live like this anymore." That moment of breakdown where you fall to your knees, where the tears come, where the world gets quiet. That is when the real work begins. That's where your soul speaks the loudest. And here's the secret. The greater the breakdown, the greater the breakthrough can be if you choose it. The problem is, most people get stuck in the breakdown. They build their identity around it. This always happens to me. I'm broken. Life's not fair. They repeat that story until it becomes their truth. But if you can change the meaning, you can change your destiny. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "What is this trying to create in me?" You see, breakdowns force you to confront your illusions. They break the old systems, the fake certainty, the shallow goals. They shake you awake. They break the shell around your potential. That pain, that collapse, that feeling of being lost, it's the soil from which something far greater can grow. You don't rise to your highest level in moments of comfort. You rise when your back is against the wall and something inside you says, "No more." That's when the breakthrough begins. That's when you realize the limits weren't real. The fears were just noise. The failure wasn't final. It was fuel. So the next time you find yourself in a breakdown, don't retreat. Don't hide. Stand up, breathe, and remind yourself, this is the moment before my breakthrough. Because on the other side of that storm is the strongest version of you the world has ever seen. If you want to know who you truly are, not who the world told you to be, not who your past says you are, but the real you, the unshakable you, then look at how you show up when everything is on the line. Because it's not the easy moments that shape your identity. It's not success that forges your soul. It's adversity. It's the trials. It's those brutal seasons when you're on the edge of quitting, but something inside says, keep going. That is where your true identity is born. You've got to understand something deep. Identity is not something you're given. It's not handed down like a birth certificate. It's forged like steel in fire. Every challenge, every setback, every rejection, every night you spent in silence wondering why me, all of it was shaping who you are. See, adversity forces you to decide, who am I now? Who do I choose to become, even when things are unfair, painful, or terrifying? That choice, that moment of power, is the birth of identity. Most people let life's punches define them. They say, I'm not good enough. I failed, so I must be a failure. I was left, so I must not be lovable. That's not truth. That's a false identity created through fear. But the people who rise, the ones who transform their lives, they take that pain, that loss, that setback, and they say, this is not the end of me. This is where I rise. Your adversity is your training ground. It's your gym. It's building the mental muscle, the emotional endurance, the spiritual clarity you need for the life you were meant to live. Without it, you wouldn't be strong enough to carry the blessing that's coming. So, don't curse your adversity, claim it, own it. Say, this is making me dangerous in the best way. This is turning me into someone unstoppable. Because when your identity is forged in fire, there's nothing this world can throw at you that you can't overcome. And one day, you'll look back and say, just like I do, I wouldn't be here without that pain. Emotion is not something that just happens to you. It's a force you can master, a tool you can wield, and when you learn to direct it with purpose, it becomes one of the greatest powers in your life. Most people are taught to either suppress their emotions or be ruled by them. They get angry and they explode. They get sad and they shut down. They get anxious and they freeze. But emotion is energy in motion. It's not here to control you, it's here to guide you, push you, awaken you, move you forward. Think about it, every major decision you've made in your life, every breakthrough moment, every courageous act, it was fueled by emotion. Love, frustration, hunger, determination. Those aren't weaknesses, they're signals. They're rockets waiting to be aimed. But here's the problem. Most people never learn how to use emotion. They react instead of responding. They let pain paralyze them instead of powering them. They let fear shut the door instead of fueling their focus. You've got to train yourself to recognize emotional states as tools. You're feeling anger. Good, that's a sign something must change. You're feeling fear. That's the compass telling you where the growth is. You're overwhelmed. That means you're stepping into territory that requires a higher version of you. Use it. I've coached people who were depressed for years, and when we got under the surface, we found they weren't broken. They were simply stuck. Their emotional energy was being bottled up with no direction. But the moment we gave that energy a mission, they transformed. They went from helpless to powerful, not because the emotion changed, but because the meaning and focus did. The key is this: don't try to eliminate emotion. That's like trying to shut off your own engine. Instead, learn to drive it, feel it fully, channel it wisely, and let it propel you toward the life you're meant to build. Because when you become the master of your emotional energy, nothing can stop you. Not fear, not failure, not your past. Your emotions were never the enemy. They've been the fuel all along, waiting for you to take the wheel. Let me hit you with a truth that might shake you. Your pain becomes your power the moment you become grateful for it. Now I know that sounds insane when you're in the middle of it, when you've lost something, when you're hurting, when the world feels like it's falling apart. The last thing you want to do is thank the experience. But let me tell you something. That shift from resistance to gratitude is where your transformation begins. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice. It's not some soft, fluffy idea. It's a strategy, a power move. It's how you take control of the meaning your mind is attaching to pain. Because here's the secret: it's not the event that breaks you. It's the meaning you give that event. And when you bring gratitude into that space, you strip away the suffering and unlock your deepest strength. You're no longer the victim. You become the alchemist, turning pain into wisdom, heartbreak into compassion, loss into leadership. When I look back on the hardest moments of my life, hunger, abandonment, deep emotional pain, I don't resent those seasons. I thank them because they gave me something nothing else could: empathy, drive, depth, perspective. And because of that, I can reach people in pain, not from a place of theory but from experience. That's what gives you power. That's what makes your voice matter. Gratitude reframes your past and reclaims your future. It says, yes, I went through hell, but it made me unstoppable. It says, that person didn't break me, they built me. It says, I'm not who I was, I'm something stronger because of what I survived. And once you access that mindset, that grateful, grounded, unshakable mindset, you become a force of nature. You stop being controlled by what happened to you and start using it as fuel to serve, to lead, to rise. So the question is, can you find the gift in your pain? Can you be grateful for the fire that refined you? Because when you do, you unlock a version of yourself that no pain, no fear, no obstacle can ever destroy. Pain is inevitable. We all go through it. But here's what most people never realize. Pain doesn't define you, the meaning you attach to it does. Two people can go through the exact same event. One comes out broken. The other comes out reborn. The difference: one created a disempowering meaning, I'm not good enough, life is unfair, I'm always a victim. The other chose a powerful meaning, this made me stronger. Now I know what I'm capable of. This will never happen to me again. Your brain is a meaning-making machine. It's always assigning stories to your experiences. And whatever story you lock in becomes your identity. That identity becomes your behavior. That behavior becomes your future. So if you want to change your life, start by changing the meaning of your pain. When I was young, I could have said, I'm poor, I'm worthless, no one's coming to save me. That could have been my truth, but I chose a different meaning. I said, this will be the fuel for my fire. No one's coming to save me. Good, I'll save myself, and then I'll show others how to do the same. That one shift in meaning changed everything. It's not about denying what happened. It's about reclaiming your power from what happened. You are not your past. You are the decision maker of your future, and that starts with meaning. Some of you are still carrying meanings from 5, 10, 20 years ago, meanings that are suffocating your growth. Maybe someone left you and you decided you're not lovable. Maybe you failed once and you decided you're not enough. It's time to rewrite that script, because as long as that old meaning lives, your future is stuck in a cage. But the moment you decide, this pain was my teacher, this struggle was my setup for a comeback, this wasn't a punishment, it was preparation, everything shifts, your mind expands, your heart opens, your power returns. So ask yourself right now, what meaning have I been giving my pain? And then ask, what meaning will I give it from this day forward? Because that answer, that choice will shape who you become for the rest of your life.